I want to say it was in 2008, 2007 to 2008. I inherited the file. I volunteered for it, thinking it was going to be really cool and that I was going to solve the Black Dahlia. And um, it was, it was a hard case to keep because of the amount of people that would call me on it and want to have tips or want me to look into a suspect that they developed. And some of them were people of importance, I guess. And so the department would um, pretty much order me to look into these various theories and speak with some of these people, authors, retired investigators, stuff like that. And it took a considerable amount of my time. And at the time, this was just like an ancillary case. It was sort of like a hobby case. And but it ended up taking a considerable amount of my time just to field all these different people that came forward with information or wanting to solve the Black Dahlia.
And how often did that pay off? You didn't solve it, did you?
No, I didn't solve it. I The file was immense, and when I started to go through it, and part of me was just because, like, who wouldn't want to have access and look at the Black Dahlia file? So I was like, this is a no-brainer. I mean, I want this case. So it was very fun for the first couple of months going through and looking at everything and educating myself, but also very obvious that I was not going to be able to solve it. Um, Number one, it was just too much information. And number two, again, it was an ancillary case. This was a case that needed an investigator assigned to just that case because there was just so much information in the file, but also coming in from individuals. So I would get, I would get correspondence from people via email or phone calls every week, for sure, every week. But the amount of times I met with people or was told to meet with people or got requests from the media was at least um, once once every month or two, for sure.
With my mail so it doesn't ding. Um, and I assumed these people were sincere, but they really didn't
Sorry.
have anything that could close the case, right?
Yeah, they were sincere for the most part. A lot. I mean, they were sincere. There were some people that were obviously on a tangent that was based in not any type of scientific or evidentiary reality, to put it nicely. And then there were some that had actually developed real possible suspects and 100% believed in the person that they developed. And I would say I could think of um, three or four times where that was where a suspect was brought to me and it was like, wow, it makes sense. It's a great theory, but there's no evidence that exists today where I could say, yes, this theory, this is the person that it most likely killed the Black Dahlia.
So is there, you say the file, is it more than one file? Like, can you describe physically what is left from this nearly 80-year-old crime?
So it is a metal file cabinet from something probably out of the 70s. It's probably about 4 feet tall and has four um, file drawers. It's very deep and it is packed. Every single drawer is packed with information. Most of it within individual manila files based on what that evidence is it a certain witness or photographs or whatever. And then most of the documents are on that very thin, almost sort of rice paper that's very delicate. And a lot of the stuff is just falling apart inside too. That paper is just literally crumbling. So once I sort of found that out, like the status of that, I would not go into certain files because I didn't want it to deteriorate more than it was because it's so historical.
Now, is there her suitcase there too? Did you tell me that once before?
There's a trunk, and it is in there. We have several different property divisions within Los Angeles where evidence is stored. And then there's one that we call the warehouse, and it's for either real old stuff that we just can't get rid of, or for large items. There's a lot of like pieces of art in there from art theft cases and stuff. And she has they call it a case, but it's more like a trunk. And it is in there, and the few other items within that trunk. And it was her trunk that was at the Greyhound bus station. So it's not even related to evidence of the case of her murder. It's really doesn't really have a lot of value. And then there are some, of course, envelopes from the letters that were sent by the suspect to the Herald Examiner and stuff, kind of taunting the media or taunting law enforcement. The envelopes and some of those letters are still in police custody.